Right, we finally got to it super late this week, but the round 6 review and a quick little think ahead to round 7, and a pretty rough one for myself. It was pretty funny, to be fair. I think you just have to laugh at this point. I had Zampa, Rogers, and Sutherland in my team, and I also bought Jacob Bethel and captained him for his 3x2. So that was beautiful. A couple of Hurricanes in my side as well. They came out. So a 597 for myself, Dwarshus and Philippi and these types of guys with the lowest scores there that didn't help out either. But down 346 places into just inside the top 1600, which is pretty rough. It's been down. Prices are down for the last few weeks, but I'm on the slide, and I think that this week, this is the round it's going to happen. I think I've got a pretty solid team. The luck hasn't hit yet. I think I'm going to be owning the players that will get dropped in terms of drop catches. And they might get some lucky wickets in there as well. So that's what I'm feeling for this week, and a big move into the top 1,000, back in that top 1,000. And that's the goal here, to finish in the top 1,000 with 3 rounds to go. And that is where it's going to be. I'm going to put some good juju in the air. It hasn't been as strong so far this last bunch of weeks anyway. But we'll get into it, that's for sure. And with tonight's game, we do have no doubles, obviously, this week, with just the 4 games, 1 tonight, 2 Saturday, 1 being at 4:45 p.m. And that one's likely to be rain affected. We'll have to see how that pans out, but it's been a rough stretch of days, that's for sure, in through Sydney up towards Newcastle as well. So just be aware of that one. Sixers and Perth players. I have the 1 in Finn Allen, and then I do have the 3 Sixers. So that's a small worry, and maybe a decent reason with Philippi hitting his peak price to move him on at 172, and then guys like Dwarshus as well. I think Edwards at 128 now has a really nice role, a good enough role at 128 to hold, even if he was to miss that match there. And same with Finn Allen. I think probably end up just holding the 2 and not leaving it to chance with the weather. Considering I likely have, if Weather would still could play, but I'm not excited to play him at the moment, out of form. But Scott and then Doran, if they're to be out as well, then yeah, it makes it a little bit tough for sure. Looks like Stoinis might be okay. It was just a bit of cramping, apparently, not hamstring awareness. It was cramping in the end, so that was a bit frustrating. But yeah, the Thunder players, remember it could have ended up a lot worse, to be fair, but it was Green, it was Warner, and it was Ferguson that were coming in. I ended up going away from that with the weather playing its part, or likely to, and then Finn Allen getting the gloves. I was like, yeah, I'm getting Finn Allen at 115k, and then Bethel with that roll. Turns out he only bowled the 1 over in the end, and yeah, they were 2 for 1 or something off the in the first over, and he had to face those lovely scorches there. But I thought batting at 4 was probably good. He'd get through the first, probably the power play, and then he can face some of the other bowlers. But he was in first over, and it was dire straits for him, and no fielding stats, no stump, no run outs, all the good stuff that he got the week before fell out. But yeah, ended up removing Warner and Fergo, sadly. Kept Green, had him as vice captain. That's where the captaincy of Bethel came into it, and then Wesley with the 24. So pretty rough on that front. But let's move on to what's important this week, and that is the trades. So wicketkeepers, McDermott, that's where he becomes still a pretty solid one. He's the only real guy of relevance remaining that has the double coming up, along with Matt Wade. And at 115k, average of 32 so far. He hasn't had his big score, and that's probably going to come at some point. So for Wadey at 115, who's actually the keeper, that can be helpful. And he picked up a good catch last game and the like. So they're the 2 guys that you probably want to look at. In terms of holds, you could probably hold Seaford another week. He hasn't scored any runs with the bat in recent time, and that's frustrating. Billings is on the slide, so he's probably one to move on at those prices. And I would suggest going for one of those 2 guys, whether it's McDermott or it is Matty Wade. That's where I think you want to be looking in the keeping slot. For the batters there, if you're looking at my side, I would definitely be picking up Sutherland if you had the opportunity at 157. The way he struck him the other night was absolutely incredible. So good stuff from him. If you sold Overton, I think getting him back is completely fine at 201. He plays the next 2 games before he leaves. And as I said with Philippi, he's an easy guy that can be moved on. But the reason I'll sit on him for tonight's game, I think, well, I could just make some moves, but if McDermott happens to foul tonight, I've got the emergency on him. I could, if he failed, I could move Philippi up and give him an opportunity in the wicket-keeping slot and make some other moves and potentially go a cheaper guy like a Dan Christian, and these types of guys are of an option for us. So I'll leave that one open and see how it goes. But yeah, if you look at round 6 points, we obviously had a really nice game from Dan Christian. It looks like he's going to be in that sort of 8 role with the bat and bowling 4. If they only do name the 5 bowlers again, then he's a really nice pick this week and will go up some good coin at 73k, only going up to 14.5. It's that second and third game where it really starts rolling, which is nice. Glenn Maxwell's a really nice pick as well. Obviously at 173, he has the ability to go nuts, and they continue to hit it to him in the field, even though he did drop one. But he can just score at will, and that's the thing. He got in early enough the other day, still batting at 6, which is just ridiculous for a guy of his talent. But a good win from them, and that's where he could be an option, is that he's in form now after that really good innings, and the team's won 3 in a row. So that's really good signs on that front. Guys like Hayden Kerr doing a solid job right now. You got Vince up there at 172. He's a bit expensive and is getting closer to a sell, obviously, just based on price alone with no doubles. Guys like Michael Neeser become very, very interesting there at 175k. Had his first game, surprisingly, you lose cash at a 68 at that price point. But with the duel there, bowling good overs up top, getting that 4 overs this time rather than picking up the couple. And he is batting fairly low, that 8-9, but can do it in, just with his bowling. And you saw Xavier Bartlett last week. It wasn't able to perform as well. Similar to that with Dwarshuis, 2 of the premier bowlers in the competition. They're going to be hit and miss sometimes. They won't get a wicket in some games, but then they'll go nuts in others, like Behrendorff can and these types of players for sure. So Christian's a really fun one if you need a cheaper guy and very low ownership, 4% overall. Guys like Mitch Owen, I think, are pretty interesting at 149k. He's had a cracking season with that ton, obviously, and even just the game, the most recent game he played, he picked up a 78 with just a few catches and picking up, almost 40 off 16 balls. So he has that ability to score super quick. Matt Short is touch and go for this game, so it's hard to select him based on that. Sutherland, it might be hit and miss. He'll probably be his off game, but it's hard to, fight a 166, that's for sure. And then moving along the line there, Stoinis, I think, is a hold, not a buy. Lawrence, you're not buying him at the moment either. Guys like Bo Webster, if he could easily become an option just for, just to finish things off. I think he'll get the regular season. He'll get in the next couple of games. He would be at least worth it, bowling 4 overs and batting 3 if that's the way it plays out. I think it probably will be. He's a really nice selection this week at 135. So if you can wait until we kind of get an idea on their team, then that's a really solid option to play that one. Turner, I think it's a good time to move him on. He did lose the 15.5k the last game and will go down again if he does score low, considering he went 0 and 8 in the final 2 games. Obviously, the Adelaide guys didn't play last week, so you got guys like Chris Lynn, who we know that can go absolutely nuts, and Finn Allen at 144. It's getting tougher to buy a a wicket-keeper bat. It'd be nice if he got a duel, wouldn't it? Given he's had the one go at wicket-keeping, that's for sure. Chowdhury didn't play last week, so he's an interesting one at 121. I think you can just wait the one more week for him. Similar for Tim David, obviously coming off a big score. He'll be more expensive next week. Do you just want to stash someone away as a guy that you can just pop in the E this round, and then make decisions from there? That's also a really solid decision as well. And we do lose Shea Hope now off to the IL T20. And then for the bowlers, I'm potentially looking at an Agar, an Agar or a Dwarshuis sell. So if we look at Wesley as a sell there, you're looking at some really nice averages up top. Bird obviously didn't play the last game, so that's something to monitor obviously in that one. But if he's going to be in that in and out type of mold, then it's probably not as ideal. Spencer Johnson and Jason Behrendorff, I think you're looking at single game guys mainly in this scenario that you think could go well over the last 3 games. It's as simple as that. Might not be week to week, but we know that Behrendorff is super consistent. Spencer Johnson showing some consistency as well and ability to take wickets. So 2 really nice picks there. And then Jai Richardson at 156, Sean Abbott as well at 150. The worry is obviously the Sixers and Perth game. So keep your wits about you on that one and the ability to change fairly quickly. We also saw Connolly have a bit of a low one this week. And what about Big Steckety averaging 59 across his 3 games after last year just crapping the bed, which was rough. Lance Morris 66 as well, a really nice score from him. So, and shout out to Ashton Agar having a really, really great Big Bash season in the games that he has played, and he copped a bit of an issue in the other one, but and then shout out to Sids with his 61 and Zamps with his 87. Like, he's someone that I think you could ride one more week if you wanted to. Like, if you're looking at break even, Zamps at a 24, Dorsch is the high one, and same with Agar. They're both in the 130, 140, so it's probably the right time to move on from those two and kind of look at guys with smaller break evens as better options, and Philippi as well. So if I move those three guys on, then I don't get out of whack with break evens and big price losses this week coming, so I can continue to trade the 3 a week for top tier guys. So that's some of the thoughts there. And then Nathan Ellis, who obviously didn't play last week, and Chris Jordan. I would go Ellis before Jordan. Now that they're very close in price, it's 7k difference, so climb into that one would be a good idea. I think we'll leave it there because it's only an hour and 20 until ball one, so it would be 50 minutes or something by the time this comes out. So I'll get that out to you. Thanks for joining in. It's going to be a big week for my team this week. I'm putting it out in the air, and keen for McDermott to go nuts this evening as my emergency, along with Chowdhury. I'm going to sit him in the emergency there and have Liam Scott as a guy that can pop in and be the looper in that secondary position down there. And we'll go from there. Thanks for that, guys. I'm going to be moving on from my Thunder Boys. Apart from Green, I'll keep hold of him. He seems to be on and off. You can have really big games. He's had 2 big ones, and we'll leave it at that. We won't have him as the vice, but we'll move on from there. So I haven't actually done my trades yet. So this video helped, and I hope it helped you guys as well.